In a previous lesson we talked about finding horizontal asymptotes, and now we want to talk about another possibility, and that is a slant asymptote. So if you don't have a horizontal asymptote, you may have a slant asymptote. So here's our function: f of x is equal to x squared plus x minus 1 over x minus 1. Now this is another possibility, and that is if you look at the term in the top, the leading term, and we got an x squared up here. We look at the bottom, it's x to the first power, and since 2 is bigger than 1, or I should say greater than 1, then we're going to end up having a slant asymptote. Divide the denominator into the numerator and get the quotient, so that's what we want to do. And so we're going to do this long division. Now you could do synthetic division, which I don't cover here, but it's not too bad. You look at the x and you say, how many times does x go into x squared? Well, it goes in x times. So think of it writing x squared over x and then simplifying it, and you would get x. Then you go back and take x times x, you get x squared. Then x times negative 1, you get negative x. I have a minus out here. You need to remember to distribute this across, right? And then you just add your terms together, which would have x squared minus x squared gives us 0, and x plus x, once you distribute this negative across, makes us a plus. You would end up with 2x. And then you continue the same process. 2 times x is 2x. Then you have 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Which I've written here. And then you take the negative, you do the same thing, and so we end up with negative 2x and then plus 2, and when you add these you should get 0, and then we end up getting 1. But we want to look up here at the quotient, and this is what our asymptote is going to be, and this is a slant asymptote, x plus 2. So we write it, y is equal to x plus 2. Now let's look at the graph. So here's our function, which I've got in green, and our slant asymptote, y is equal to x plus 2, is our purple line right here. Now this is an asymptote. This should be a dotted line, but I've just written it as a solid purple line here.